Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Damien's Midweek Markets, the show where I talk about what's been going on in investment markets and what to look out for in the days and weeks ahead. Now, it's been an interesting week. There has been a lot of volatility and a lot of headlines, and there have been people who probably weren't particularly interested in investing before last week who have seen the headlines surrounding the share price of GameStop and one or two others and speculation in markets. And the name of Robinhood has been featured on the news more than I can remember. So markets became nervous last week. You remember there was a lot of volatility and we saw stock markets starting to sell off into the month end. And it raised the question of whether we were going to actually finish the month on a negative note. Now, normally a month to month you don't pay much attention, but as the old adage goes, as goes January, so goes the year. So sometimes people place a little bit more emphasis on what happens in January, as it's almost a sign of what we could expect for the rest of the year. And the odds of it being correct are quite strong. It's around about an 80% chance of it being correct, i.e. if January is positive, then the rest of the year tends to be positive. That's on the S&P 500 and the FTSE 100. Conversely, if it's negative in January, then it tends to be a good reflection that the rest of the year will probably be negative. So going into the close on Friday, so that was the end of the month, then there was probably a bit more emphasis on where we would finish. And the stock market in America, so the S&P 500, for example, just managed to claw back the losses that it experienced during the week and finished up 1.8% for the month, while the FTSE 100 was up just under 1%, about 0.87% for the month. And so there was a late rebound into the month end, and that was caused by some relief surrounding the GameStop trade and the almost army of retail investors that were seemingly trying to bankrupt hedge funds. Now, the trade eventually almost got cancelled by the likes of Robinhood and other brokerages, clamping down on the number of trades and shares that people could purchase, so on particular shares, namely GameStop being one. And that was partly because the brokerages, so the brokers themselves, were in danger of actually going bust. So Robinhood, for example, they had to raise billions of pounds more funding to ensure that they could remain liquid with the volume of trades. This is a quirk of the way that trading platforms work, but it meant that they almost become a victim of the success that they have, and the army of retail traders almost caused Robinhood to collapse. So we had a period of volatility, but then once those trades were starting to be limited, of course it got a lot of bad press. That started to bring the price of some of those stocks that were being speculated upon, started to bring those down. And of course then we started just to see the trade start to wane anyway, perhaps from the lack of enthusiasm and money to be able to keep pushing back against the hedge funds that were shorting the market. So it meant that we saw the fear index, the VIX, start to fall. Remember, it broke above 31 last week. It's back down to around about 24 now. And so there was a bit more normality started to return to investment markets. Now, there was a silver lining, and by that I don't mean necessarily anything positive, but over the weekend, fresh from their enthusiasm and attempts to drive GameStop share price even higher and ever higher, the Reddit users started to focus on the silver market. Now, there's no need to sort of focus too much on as to why. There's a lot of uncertainty around that, but there is a school of thought that the silver market is, and the price of silver is artificially suppressed compared to the gold price. And so they were trying to push that up higher to try and effectively cause problems for a number of investment banks. What it meant is that at the beginning of the week, we saw a spike in the price of silver and it started to rally. But again, they started to run out of steam. It's a slightly different market. There aren't a lot of short bets on that market, for example, unlike on GameStop. And the trade started to reverse very quickly within 24 hours. And we saw the price spike and then it start to pull back. Gold mirrored that, but to a lesser extent. If you recall that silver and gold do tend to trade similarly, but gold is silver, I should say, is much more amplified. So we saw gold rally this week and pull back. So we saw commodities, some interesting moves on precious metals. So that is another thing you would have probably seen headlines around this week. So again, it's all relating to this retail trade. That caused a lot of nervousness. That seems to be dying down, which means that the reflation trade that we saw, the opening up of the global economy, the bets on that started to re-emerge. So people started buying back into those growth plays, particularly technology stocks. And of course, the technology stocks have done relatively well this week as well, because earnings reports came out for Amazon, and they also came out for Google, or Alphabet as the parent company is known. And we also had Apple's the week before. Those tech earnings were, on the whole, very good. I mean, Alphabet recorded record profits, while Amazon actually had its first $100 billion revenue quarter. So these are earnings for Q4 of last year. And of course, that has helped buoy technology stock prices. Don't forget that part of the retracement the week before was obviously markets were getting nervous about what retail investors were doing, but they started to question some of the valuations of technology stocks. And so technology stocks were badly hit the previous week. When you wrap all that up, what it means is that we've seen a rebound in markets in the US in particular, where a lot of these tech stocks reside. And the S&P 500 bounced back from its sell-off the previous week, and it's up from its low of the week, about 3% now, which means it's almost recouped those losses that were sparked by the volatility and the uncertainty surrounding the GameStop trade. In Europe and the FTSE 100, we've not seen the same rebound. We're still lower than we were the previous week. So there's still an element of uncertainty out there, but the indices are starting to pick back up. The reflation trade is starting to pick back up again. So we're starting to see things that had done well in the majority of January, which includes emerging market indices, for example, and Asian stocks, which have led the main global equity indices. They have also rebounded and started to do very well again. So one of the things I think people should remember, last week, there seemed to be a lot of nervousness, and I even got emails from people starting to ask me, is this the beginning of the end? Are we in for a big turn in equity markets? Now, I don't know the answer to that, and nobody does. And if anybody says they do, then you shouldn't believe them. But the real question you should ask yourself is, if last week you were incredibly nervous about a 2% drop in the major stock market indices, then perhaps investing isn't for you, because you should be taking a long-term view of this. And 2% fall, given that certain equity indices were probably up about 4 to 6% in January, is not really a lot. So if you're getting nervous about that level of pullback on equity markets, then how are you going to feel when we eventually get a 10% correction, which we will do, or a 20% pullback? And so if you are nervous and you can't sleep at night, then it's a sign that you are taking too much investment risk. So it may be time for you to review that. So it's a much more positive mood this week. But of course, as we've seen in the last couple of weeks, that can change very quickly. And we've had some optimism about the US stimulus package as well this week. So there's a bit more of a feel-good news factor going on, and that's translating into equity markets. And we're obviously seeing bond markets respond in reverse. So we're seeing yields starting to pick up a little bit, but nothing too crazy. And we're seeing commodities start to pick up as part of that reflation trade again. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the coming days and weeks ahead. And as I probably mentioned on last week's show, or at least alluded to, February tends to be a pretty nervous time in equity markets. It's a weak month traditionally, particularly in a year following a US election. So don't be surprised if we actually get a surprise in equity markets in the next couple of weeks. So that is it for this week on Damien's Midweek Markets. As ever, you can contact me via email, damien@moneytothemasses.com, Twitter, moneytothemasses with a number 2, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.